It's Battle of Legends season, and you know what that means? A bunch of random anime cards that no one except the biggest of anime nerds remembers. And what better way to illustrate this than with Doodle Beasts, an archetype used by, let me check. Frederick? The dub really called this guy Frederick?
Pick a god and pray.
Wait a second. Oh my god, the dub made him into the little German kid?
Jetzt zock ich Fortnite und trink Cola! Yippee!
I take back everything I said about the dub. This is a massive improvement. You see, I need to be honest here. I do actually remember Doodle Beasts, but not because I'm a Frederick fan or anything like that. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I never even learnt this guy's name because I spent the entire anime unaffectionately calling him the Shivers Kid. If you've watched any amount of subbed Arc 5, trust me, you know what I mean. It's like they tried to one-up Yuma for the title of most annoying catchphrase, and only during the writing of the script did I learn that dub watchers got this little German kid instead. So many regrets. But despite hanging around for a ton of episodes, saying his one catchphrase again and again, he only battles technically 3 times, but most of those battles are just 10-second cameos that we only get to see a short part of. So he's a throwaway character, was a barely seen archetype. So surely these new cards can't be particularly good, right? Right? Well, let's take a look at them, starting with Stego. It's the first card in a 3-part combo where every card leads into each other. For a start, it can special summon itself either if you control no monsters or if all you control are dinosaurs. While it's an okay rank 5 extender and could maybe see play with something like 5-star Twilight, it's the second effect that matters. When summoned in anyway, so not necessarily with its own effect, it then searches a Doodle book, spell or trap, and then makes you discard something. Now, there aren't actually any Doodle Beast spells, but they do have a trap, which we'll look at now. Doodle book which is definitely a real name for a card, has 2 effects, the first of which isn't too useful. It basically negates an attack on a dinosaur, then summons a Doodle Beast as a shield for the rest of the turn before destroying it. What matters is its second effect, which can be activated in the graveyard the turn after it was sent there. You can banish it and then search any level 5 or higher dinosaur, not just Doodle Beast. So while it can search the next card, it can also add a Pankratops or a Dogoran if you need to Kaiju something. There's some pretty good targets. Plus, it's easy to get into the graveyard since Stego discards right after searching it. So what's the payoff? Doodle Beast Tyranno, that's what. It's a level 8 monster, so you'll need to tribute summon it, but it does have 2 ways of mitigating that. First off, it only needs 1 tribute if you tribute a dinosaur, and secondly, if any dinosaur is on the field, you can tribute summon this as a quick effect. The reward for all this is that, when normal summoned, which of course does count the quick effect tribute summon with its own effect, it destroys a monster on either side of the field without targeting it first. Also, if you tributed a Doodle Beast, it gains half the attack of whatever you destroyed, but that's less important. So basically, this mini archetype gives you a free dinosaur extender with a built-in searcher for another dinosaur that gives you a quick effect destruction from the hand, each card leading perfectly into the other. This not only gives more power to your board, but also it helps space out your interruptions so you're less vulnerable to Dark Ruler no more or something like that, since it lives in your hand until you need it. Plus, it even works with other cards in your dinosaur deck. You could, for example, use it on a Lost World token, protecting it, and then sending a Pteranodon and getting a Pankratops instead. Basically, it just gives your dinos more options. But why don't we take a look at the deck now? Here it is. Now with this deck, I'm aiming to show you a bunch of new options that dinosaurs have gotten ever since Misc was limited to 1. You don't need to run all of them, of course, and you could just double up on things you prefer or run more staples instead if you want. But for the purpose of demonstrating the new dinosaur tech, this deck has a good balance of all of the new ones. Starting with the Doodle Beast, run 3 Stegos since it's the best one to draw. Then run either 1 or 2 of both Tyranno and Doodle Book. I'd swap to 2 of each if you decide to cut any of the following tech, but otherwise you don't really want to draw a Tyranno or the Trap when you could search them instead. After that, we have a new card that you can try anything from 0 to 3 copies of, which is Bayerock Dragon, which is a dinosaur. It's basically just a level 6 dinosaur body that summons itself when a monster of yours is destroyed in the hand or field. Together as a level 4 tuner, it's an easy baron, but otherwise it's just dinosaur materials for your various combos. I run one to demonstrate, but at more copies it could be a very cheap alternative for the next card. That card is Visa's Starfrost. Its synergy with the baby dinosaurs is obvious, and also combos well with Bayerock Dragon. Then it's just an easy baron using itself and whatever you get from the baby dinosaur blowing up. Another bonus is that it fulfills the conditions for Double Evolution Pill by itself. Just make sure to summon Stego before using this card. After that we run a bunch of dinosaur staples. 1 Pancratops, 2 UCT, 3 Oviraptor, a Misk, and a Giant Rex. Then I opted for 2 Scrap Raptors and 1 Chimera. It's easy extension and a very accessible level 4 dinosaur tuner, so it combos well with Bayerock Dragon, and also these ratios are enough to do at least a small basic scrap combo with Wyvern. I don't run Golem, since there are enough single engine pieces in this deck, but if you want to see a more scrap focused version of the deck, check out my Patreon. Finally I went for 5 total babies since they combo so well with Visas and Bayerock. 1 Archosaur and 1 Pill is a little bit risky, but mostly fine. After that we obviously want 3 Fossil Dig and 4 of the field spells, since it is still a dinosaur deck. Then we still have space for some hand traps, but depending on the format, you could easily replace them with other staples like Talents, Droplet, or Dark Ruler. Now for the extra deck. You don't really have any set combos, so it's more of a toolbox of a bunch of different things that you could potentially summon, starting off with a Baron, who's enabled by our level 6 monsters. Chen Ying is also a potential choice, and it allows you to turn UCT's quick effect into a banish, which could be useful against Link decks. Scraptoon Dragon's good for going second, and Savage Dragon is nice but does require you to get a Link in the graveyard first. And then Draco Berserker's Banish is surprisingly good against Tearlament. Then run both of the Evolsaur Xyz monsters as well as an Abyss Dweller, and just summon whichever one will help most in the matchup, so probably Abyss Dweller in this current meta. Your links are a bit more situational, but Apollousa is still nice to have in hands where you didn't use Lost World. The Nightmares of Removal, with Cerberus being an emergency way to try and destroy the Lost World token before protecting it. Wyvern is for your scrap plays, and does get better with Scrap Golem if you cut other bricks in a deck to make use of it. Also, if you draw the Doodle Book Trap, make sure to set it and then destroy it with Wyvern's second effect, getting you the most materials on the board as possible as well as a search next turn. Pentastag helps ATK, Link Reba is nice to have, and Sprite Elf can get you back a baby dinosaur for you to blow up again, and even works on your opponent's turn to do it again with UCT's effect. And so that's an idea of how you can build dinosaurs with new support. And now let's take a look at the deck in action. I'm about to show you some dino combos, but before that, make sure to like and subscribe if you've been enjoying this video so far. First up, a hand where we start with Stego, or at least a Fossil Dig to search one. We then summon Oviraptor to get a Misk, discard it, and then summon our Stego. That searches the trap, which we discard. Now Misk summons Archosaur, which destroys a Petit Pteranodon. It triggers its own effect, as well as Bayerock Dragon, to get that and a Raptor on board. To make some room, we link Archosaur into Linkaribo, before using Raptor's effect on itself. We don't get the search since Chimera's already in our hand, but it's still worth it since we can then normal summon it and revive Raptor. Oviraptor destroys Scrap Raptor for a baby dino, before we link into a Wyvern. A revive Scrap Raptor, before destroying Petit Pteranodon for a Giant Rex. We then make a Baron, followed by a Sprite Elf, who revives the baby once more. Baron then destroys it, getting us another Raptor to make a Borreload Savage Dragon with, equipping the Wyvern. Now Double Evolution Pill gets us the UCT, banishing Giant Rex so it can summon itself back, giving us the materials for a rank 4 of our choice. When the next turn starts, we also get our search of Doodle Beast Tyranno, ending on a board with 2 Omni Negates, Volca's Monster Negate, 2 of which are protected by Sprite Elf from targeting, and then UCT's effect, which can target a baby dinosaur that we revive with Elf. On top of all that, we also get Tyranno's quick effect destruction, so we still have some plays left even if we get hit by a Droplets or a Dark Ruler. For the second hand, I'll show you how Tyranno can still be used even if you draw it. Start with a search of Oviraptor, who searches and then uses Misk. As usual, that will get you an Archosaur, who'll destroy a baby in the hand to get you a double evolution pill, this time triggering Bayerock while getting a giant Rex. We can now use Oviraptor to swap Archosaur for Ptitranodon, and then use Giant Rex as a tribute for Tyranno, since we want to get it in the graveyard anyway. Tyranno then blows up the Ptitranodon, getting us a Scrap Raptor, who starts then doing the usual scrap combo. With our field getting full, we then make a Baron and a Wyvern, who revives the Raptor before blowing itself up, getting us a link in the graveyard for the Savage Dragon. It's now a simple matter of using the pill to get a UCT, we'll also summon back the Giant Rex that we'll be using as a cost for its quick effect, backed up by 2 Omni Negates. Let's show our Feast of Starfrost this time. We'll search a field spell to thin our deck before playing a Lost World. Then we'll use it to chain block Oviraptor's Search of Mist, which we'll then use to get an Archosaur on the field and blow up a baby in our hand. This time though, we'll use a baby to get another baby, ready to be blown up by the Starfrost summon effect. That will get us a Giant Rex, and this time we can go into Cheng Ying. The pill gets us our UCT as well as reviving Giant Rex, and then we might as well just go into a Link of eBay. We haven't used Oviraptor's second effect yet, so we use it on the token, protect it, and then get Stego thanks to the Destroy Ptitranodon. That still gives us a Search of the Trap, which we immediately discard. We now just make an Xyz monster, ending our turn with a Search of Tyranno in the next standby phase. We could now wait for your opponent to have something worth destroying to use its effect, which would even give us the attack boost thanks to us tributing Stego, or even use it to trigger Lost World and get a Pankratops instead, which also gives us destruction but as an actual quick effect, with the extra body on the field now. We could also use Tyranno's effect on Cheng Ying, to basically turn it into a quick effect banish in the field and graveyard. UCT's effect can also work on Cheng Ying, trading the Book of Eclipse effect for Cheng Ying's banish, since it doesn't work very well against Link decks or decks that will just fuse away the face down monsters anyway. And so that's the deck. Which of these new tech cards will you be using in your dinosaur decks from now on? Tell me in the comments below, and while you're down there, don't forget to like and subscribe. Special thanks to my tier 3 patron Distran. The link to that is in the description. Thanks for watching!